Hey adventurers, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Chenda, and this is my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. In the last episode, we continued exploring Copperlane and Defiance Bay, visited the Adventurers Hall, and we're now on our way up towards the library. They might also be less, it does kind of seem like the dozens will take anybody. And
Adair, you have said you fought in the Saints' War.
this
but
reading
for
bloodline
which side?
stuff and all that.
I didn't mean anything by it. I imagine a man with a head made of fire and light would be very convincing.
Funny thing about Dear Woodens. With all that fire and light, they just treated him like another authority figure.
Fair enough, Hater. Jeez, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, the knights might be a little more elitist or something with all that bloodline reading and such. We should visit the library, obviously. Apparently this goes out into the world. That goes to First Fires, that goes to Brackenbury. That goes into Catacombs, which feels like a quest location, but maybe we're supposed to just go into them, I don't know. This house is marked, so I'm going to wander into this house. No idea why it's marked, but lockpicks in the crate here. Just gonna make an assumption that there's something in this house if it's marked, basically. Just a moment. Let's see. The painting. This painting depicts the famous scene from The Light of Dawn, in which the traveler and the ghost happen upon a starving man. Beer. Not even stealing. This is the part. I guess it's got a different layout, really. It's not stealing to take anything in here, apparently. I don't know why not. Oh, key. Okay, this must be a quest location that I don't really have access to yet. I don't know why the front door wasn't just locked in that case, but or I missed something lying around, but I don't see anything. So we'll probably come back there at some point. Alright, so then we'll move on to the Scrivener's dormitory. Not quite sure what a Scrivener would be in this context. Looks like a dormitory. Spilled tea, empty ink pots, and one detailed sketch of a fire-breathing old dwarf for all that remain of a long study session. Is it literally like a student dorm of some sort? What is a Scrivener in this world? Can't really take anything without it being stealing, which, I mean, is sort of typical of private property, but the sturdy bunks are topped with thin blankets and even thinner mattresses.
Hello.
Corin, what's the deal? By whale's eye of this face, you are one short ogre. But why are you green, and how are you getting the ducks to keep flying around you like that? How much did you smoke lately, buddy? He claps his hands and laughs. Snowcap. Snowcap. So few people know Snowcap, much less ogres. He beams at you and nods his head. Why would I ask him questions? He's clearly high as... like, yeah. Alright. You Scrivener? Yes, I am a Scrivener. I read books, I write books. I once ate a book, but only because it looked like sweet pie. Or perhaps it was sweet pie baked to look like a book. Interesting. Oh, I'm also a collector of herbs, flowers, plants. I sell them. Mostly I eat them. So what's this place? It's where the scriveners who work at the Hall of Revealed Mysteries sleep. I'm a scrivener. This place smells like old stockings. Okay, so in this case, a scrivener is effectively a scribe who works for the library, I think. What do you sell? Yeah, a lot of plants. Some of them are drugs, which checks out. A lot of scriveners around. Well, I wasn't here for Corin, but, someone's sneaking porn into the dormitory, apparently. Alright, yeah. Corin is the only person here who's with any note, but I don't really have any other way to... A rancid stench rises from the basin. The dishes at the top of the pile are flaked with morsels of meat and cheese. Those at the bottom are coated in a slimy fuzz. Oh, come on, guys. Look, I never let my room get to this state, even in... Like, no. Do your dishes, guys. It's not that hard. It's really not.
Good day, stranger.
Okay, I don't have anything else to ask him about, so maybe we'll have to talk to him for a quest later, but in the meantime, I guess we go to the library. Yeah.
Well, whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, gilded veil. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. No, you had it right.
Actually, let's see what this big amphitheater thing is first. It is an amphitheater. It's got an audience even. Oh, play. The benches are strewn with chicken bones, broken bottles, and greasy scraps of paper. Maybe they're just practicing, because otherwise it's kind of weird that the understudies are standing right there. Who are you guys? Oh, Mandala was the one who lived in that house. Who is you? Okay, how about you? The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement. Her eyes shimmer under silvered eyeshadow and a razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hand up in dramatic fashion.
Gods keep you.
Autographs after the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the Revel of Stars. Who and what is a Revel of Stars? We are the finest theater troupe in the city. We believe the best art is immersive and true to life. She looks at the amphitheater with a rapturous expression. We stage our performances right here in Copperlane for the edification of all. I suppose I can spare a moment for a fan. What is it you do? That depends entirely on the demands of the role. She lays a slender hand on her chest. I am the Pallid Knight, the Widow of the Wood, and the Warrior Queen Monka, all at different times. To live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. You take in a lot of new members. But of course, good drama is a balm to the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. What sort of members? We'll take in the new and the old, the tall and small, the experienced and inexperienced. Whoever's best suited to fulfill a role to the utmost. How long do you keep members? As long as they're able to satisfy the demands of their roles. She smooths a wayward strand of hair. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. Very well. If you happen to know any aspiring thespians, please send them my way. Her lips stretch into a hungry smile. We always have a place for novices. Huh. There's nothing really to talk to her about right now, but I feel like there will be something in future. Alright. Those are all just ways out. There's the catacombs and there's the library. So up to the library we go, I guess, finally. More scriveners. There better be some good books in here. Oh, God.
I'd wager there are more than a few banned books in here.
Fantastic. Love banned books. Alright, the library's not too huge, but it's pretty decently sized. Yes, welcome. Hello. Vexa,
Hail and well met.
you're the librarian? The woman barely glances up from the tomes on the table as you approach. You're welcome to browse the stacks, but mind that you keep your voice down. This is still a temple, after all, and Grimda doesn't tolerate disorder. Kinda looks like a library. Her eyes grow wide and round. That's because it is. Whale is the god of mysteries and answers, encryption and decryption, concealment and revelation. She raises her hands to the rows of shelves. Its guidance comes from the understanding of the unknown and the protection of hidden knowledge. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries was built to celebrate that. Fair enough. To think there's such a place in the Deerwood. Incredible. I'd love a glimpse of the archives. How many secrets must sit upon these shelves? Well, that is fascinating. Isn't it? Temples dedicated to Whale tend to hold vast stores of knowledge. We use that knowledge to unravel and preserve the mysteries of the world. Anything else? Yeah, who's Grimda? Vexa speaks reverently. Why, she's the High Archivist. She's one of the most accomplished scholars alive today. Nothing goes on here without her knowing about it. Almost nothing, anyway. She scratches behind her ear. You should probably tread lightly around her today. So, yourself? She throws her broad shoulders back. I am a scrivener and a devotee of Whale. It's my duty to look after our records and resources. Her chest swells with pride. Fair enough. It's a library. Complete with overprotective librarian. Person with a soul to read. You see nothing at first. Inky darkness filling your vision. The dust of eons flooding your nose. You hear a strike and a torch gutters into flame, revealing a man without a face and a library of books flickering in the dull orange glow. He moves to the closest shelf, sliding the torch into a socket, and gingerly pulls a black-bound book into his trembling hands. He flicks through it lovingly, caressing each page before turning to the next and the next. Finally, he finishes, placing the book in a satchel to his side, and takes down the torch. He spends hours wandering, reading, collecting, until his satchel is as thick as he himself and half as heavy, and begins to make his way back to the entrance. With a barely audible sigh, he draws two decaying doors closed, and the torch is extinguished. I like this guy. The books on these shelves cover the history and mythology of Old Valia. Man, now I wish there were more books to read. Even though there's probably a lot, but... Okay, I can't actually take books off the shelves without it being stealing, apparently, but... Priests. May the 100 visions be revealed to you. Records of books borrowed and returned filled the cubbyholes. These titles all refer to Glandfathan mathematics and advanced geometry. The symbols on these pages writhe and shift. They're dizzying to look at. Man, it's a shame it's stealing to take these. Can I get a library card? Who do I talk to about getting a library card, guys? The Travels of Errol of Levy, 2662 to 2680, question mark. It's very dangerous even reading the titles, because if I accidentally click on one, I'm pretty sure these priests will murder me. Oh, this is Grimda. I guess we should talk to her. Possibly. This painted eye seems to move whenever you turn your back. Ooh, love that. Okay, this is the main section. And then there's the side area too, though. Elder Archives. Ah, no entry without Grimda's permission. So this part? Probably. But I can go into this part, yes? Yes. He's got more books. Mostly a sort of an oddly long hallway. Kind of a lot of floor space relative to the whole place. Okay, so Grimda is the main
Hello.
attraction here. An elderly dwarf surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as tough and wrinkled as a walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You're welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. She shoots the nearest robed figure a withering glare. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. Yes, I'd like to know more about Whale. Her smile reveals a row of crooked teeth. That's the rub, isn't it? Whale is the god of things hidden and revealed. The more of the 100 visions one sees, the more one has yet to discover. Though we often call Whale he who sees and is not seen, it is neither male nor female. To assign any definitive characteristic to Whale is to miss another essential part of its divinity. What are the 100 visions? A term of reference for Whale's many revelations. Despite the name, they're infinite. Each epiphany leads us to yet another enigma. And I thought I was busy. What else do you need? What's up with you? I am the High Archivist of the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. She coughs loudly into her fist. And I am too old and too busy to be bothered with inane questions. So, sorry. We're going to get kicked out of the library by this librarian. What are they looking for? She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I can trust you to bring it back, I suppose? She scowls at the robed priests again. You certainly couldn't do worse than this lot, anyway. Oh, I like this lady. Thieves made off with an ancient scroll of Whale. They intend to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of the 100 visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and the road to Deerford. Track the thieves down. I don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Whale rewards the persistent seeker, and so do I. An ancient scroll of Whale. That's a fine prize. I mean, a worthy task. Sure. Questions, yes. What do we know about the thieves? Very little, except that they were foolish to believe they could steal from the god of secrets. That, and they were fleeing to a farmhouse. What do you mean to do with them? However you can. Kill them, rob them, leave them. Makes no difference to me. She waves a hand and smiles grimly. I'll consider it one of Whale's mysteries. Pretty hardcore old librarian, I understand. What's so special about the scroll? Whale is the god of secrets. If I told you that, I'd cheapen it, wouldn't I? She cackles. It's a parable, the kind that nourishes the inquisitive mind and poisons the foolish. Alright, farewell. Okay, picked up a nice quest. Maybe the prize for killing those thieves and getting the scroll back is a library card. That would be great. I'd murder so many people for a library card. In Minecraft. Yeah. All death threats not to be taken seriously. Okay, so now
Your brother.
most of these
Did you and he get along?
We got along how brothers do. He used to throw water on me to wake me up in the morning. I used to fill his boots with stinging ants.
My own brothers and sisters are doing very well for themselves, back in Takoa. I don't know that they'd search for me if I were killed so far from home.
Brothers can be funny. I bet you'd be surprised how far they'd go.
Who are you, buddy?
Hey,
Dalton. This elderly man paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are the dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down two at a time. We shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to, Dalton? The man looks up at you, startled. My, oh, by the flame. For just a moment, I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the North Watch Rangers. Trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Now, I don't have to be all rude to this guy. Tell me. It's been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout the Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepened. That was until we faced Helig of Thane. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled toward the Valian Republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat. Not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I woke, my rangers, my Rowena, they were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. And now you hear her voice. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her. The voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it damn near cost me my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there beyond my help. Okay, it's absolutely insane to think his 50 years dead love is wandering down in the catacombs. But sure, I'll go in the catacombs for you. Tears spring to the old man's eyes. There's an entrance just southwest here on the other side of the canal. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You're truly a gift from the gods. If there's anything you can find of her. I mean, there's just absolutely no possible way that the lover from 60 years past is in the catacombs here. Except maybe as a mummy or something. But that's literally the last thing to do in Copperlane, I think, so... Sure, into the catacombs we go, yeah? Ooh, skinflint. What's up with you? He's just got a soul. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window, hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lay scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewelry to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precariously near the edge. His half-nose twitches in anticipation as a customer enters, a disheveled young noble, once white doublet stained with the life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit before he dumps the contents of his Hessian bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flicking through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head emphatically, sneer fully settled, shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling panicked in their sockets, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Desperate, the young noble tears a signet ring from his finger to the dwarf's ill-concealed delight. A few more coins go into the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out of his 2 sharp teeth as he examines his haul. Oh, he's a literal skinflint. He's just kind of a jerk. Alright, down into the catacombs. Wonder if this is like a very large dungeon. What have we gotten ourselves into by agreeing to help this guy find his long-dead lover? Are gonna be like thousands of ghosts down here? Probably. Save. Okay. Oh, hey, there's a corpse 3 feet in front of me. Viscous, foul-smelling sludge ebbs in the trench. So what's up with the corpse? As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you're near, without warning, the soul hurries towards you as though you were a solitary light in the dank gloom of this place, come to usher it away. Its essence invades your consciousness. You're in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs. Cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You're following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead, another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. Scotty draws up next to you. You alright? Looked like you'd almost lost your footing for a minute. It feels that way when I see into the ether. She watches you quietly. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once in a great many generations, one of my people is born with the ability to speak to souls. Usually, such individuals become elders, or a lone set of tracks in the snow. She cocks her head. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see, but looking at you, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure myself yet. Believe it or not, I once would have rejoiced to know I'd be picked to travel far in search of something great. But even these gifts come with a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I was a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Oh, don't worry about him. He just likes doing that from time to time. Seems to cheer him up, so I just let him. Alright, thanks, Aether, for the vote of confidence. Once you've seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Every time he goes a little strange in the face, I try and see if I can hear anything. Connor grins. It hasn't worked so far. See if you can get him to tell you what the spirits said. Alright, guess the whole party thinks I'm harmless and slightly insane, but at least they're still here. Gonna be a ton of things that want to kill me in here. Well,
Brave thou be lost.
there's a big ooze. Oh, Durance just straight up died. Whoops. We're gonna have to reload. That save that I took, 2 minutes ago only, but still. Right. Forgot Durance only had 1 hit point.
I'd be glad to.
I guess I didn't have this conversation yet. Okay. Yeah, we can just use camping supplies. They're not that expensive. Oh, Scotty draws up beside you, your fox following at her heels, and takes a seat next to you.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again.
Oh, come on, you just acknowledged that you liked me a minute ago. Sounds like you've been gone from home a long time.
5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Ichimak.
Oh, poor Itama. Hearing its name, the fox looks up. How's the search going?
It's been a long hunt. A long time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands my people rarely do. But 5 years without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it.
Fair enough, Scotty. Why do we need to find him so bad?
Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Elite Sok. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Elite Sok during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persok died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week, and we honored the chosen huntress as a hero. Then she left. and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her.
What happened to her? Ooh. I don't think she ever returned. It happens that way sometimes. She folds her arms, expression sober. I'm sure they remember you, Sagani. You're kind to say so. I'm not so fragile I need my name chanted at the meeting halls.
It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me. But sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me. If they think of me often.
Oh. Well, the important thing is to make it back to them alive. She nods. Both practical
Still, there's
and
no
true.
point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persok will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives?
Not clearly. I figured. Most people don't anyway. Suppose that's why I'm supposed to remind Persok of what he left behind in our village. Has your village changed much?
Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. But our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean.
Idomak brushes against her hip and she scratches his head. Recently, there's been a lot of good years. I have to say we've had fewer clashes with neighboring villages thanks to the hunting territories that Persok helped establish. In bad years, we rely on trade with the merchants that pass our shores. We exchange walrus tusks and seal pelts for grains that last us the hard winters. Persok brokered a lot of those agreements, too. She holds up the bear figurine. He got this from one of the Amoa ships that used to trade with us. Sounds like he did a lot for you.
That's what I'm supposed to remind him.
Fair enough. Sounds like you're on a hunt of your own, though. You feeling the thrill of the chase, or ready for this to be over? Well, I've been enjoying the adventure. I didn't have any clear plan, really. She smiles. Refreshing indeed. Stretches and rises and stretches, looking around. Might as well keep moving while we've got some daylight. Anything else to say? Well, she has a lot more to say, maybe. What do you do back in Nasitak? I'm a long hunter. I stalk game across the tundra with some of the other wives. We usually hunt caribou and oxen, but we find hares and birds, too. It's a good and respected position. To see so much in Nasitak in the company of my friends and sisters. This is one of the pleasures of life in Masuk. So, tell me about your homeland. Nasitak? It's a big island in the middle of the Deadfire Archipelago, just off the coast of the White That Wins. Tundra, mostly, with a few snow-covered forests in the warmer parts. Most of us live in fairly small villages, by standards here anyway. Mine is Masuk. It's Nasitak-like. She shrugs. Cold, but not as cold as the White That Wins. A few kith who visit Nasitak find it sparse, but there's plenty to sustain a village if you know where to look. She takes the items off on her calloused fingers. We get hides and meat from caribou, seals, and small whales. Bone, too, which makes fine bows and arrowheads. Community's important to us. We survive or perish together, so everything we do, every week-long hunt, every wall we build, is for the village. Who lives there? Mostly Enotonic, like me. People here call us boreal dwarves. Migratory clans of Glomfillan from the White That Wins sometimes spend the colder seasons on Nasitak, but we don't see too many other foreigners who can tolerate the elements. She pats a weather-bronzed arm. Those of us born in Nasitak like to say we have a hardy layer of seal skin just beneath our flesh. So tell me about Masuk. We're a tundra village. To an outsider's eyes, we're probably not much different from the others around us, but our elders have stories that go back hundreds of years. Epic hunts, battles with neighboring villages, sojourns across the sea. We share these stories, too. So how about Itmok? She scratches behind his ear. A good hunter, but not much of a talker, and that's been fine by me. When we hunt in Nasitak, we almost always bring our foxes with us. They help us track and flush game, and they're fearless defenders against bears and snow leopards. Clever Itmok has always been my favorite. He wags his bushy tail. You have a family? Of course. We'd never send a woman who hasn't had the chance to find a mate and have a couple children of her own. No, that seems like a terrible question to ask. How about your children? I've had 5. Yakona, Estuya, Najuo, Anik, and Malak. Estuya and Anik died young, long, lean winters. Malak was barely talking when I left. She scrapes a thumbnail along the handle of her hunting knife. He probably won't know me when I get home. She frowns, her hand falling from the knife. Even in Nasitak, I spend most of my time on the hunt, but then it's easier to relish the hunt when I know I'll see my family enjoying our kill. What's your husband like? Kalu's a good man. He's raised our children well and built us a strong home while I've been away on hunts. Our parents chose us for one another while we were still young. Not the way things are usually done here, but ours chose well. She smiles. We came to appreciate each other as helpmates first, then friends, and then... well, you know how it goes. There's a hint of a blush below the stripe of face paint. So about your search. I'll tell you what I can, but Tarnik Elitsak pilgrimages like mine are rare. Are our elders usually reborn so far from the village? Most often they return somewhere in Nasitak, a member of another village, or they're reborn among the Glumfelin of the White That Wins. And so it's hard to say what's usual. A mischievous grin crinkles her eyes. When my grandfather was a boy, the elder came back as a polar bear. The huntress chosen for the task had to recite half her village's deeds while running from the bear. That's rough. Her expression sobers. Even so, there's been journeys longer than mine. Some last decades, and the huntress doesn't always return. Why do you have this tradition? She pulls the bear figurine out of her satchel, running a finger along its smooth back. It's something we've always done. The elders say it was first begun to forge ties with other villages. It's hard to fight over caribou herds when you see someone you respect on the other side. That makes sense. We also believe that passing our history on in this way keeps us stronger, and it helps them, the elders I mean, return to us after they've been away from us for a generation or more. They can use the experiences they've accumulated over lifetimes to lead the village again. And what happens when you find them? That depends on the man or woman he's become. It's easiest when the rebirth happens in another village of Nasitak, where the tradition's understood. Even in the White That Wins and the southern islands of the Deadfire Archipelago, people understand this custom and will welcome you politely enough, even if their souls don't remember. She shrugs. But sometimes you find someone whose soul has no memory of the village, and you have to tell him of people who remember him still. As disheartening as this is, you hope the reminder will aid his soul in a future life. Why'd they pick you? She grins. Another old village tradition. The elders watched the caribou migrations and cast seal bones to determine the right time for the journey. When the omens were determined, all the village wives drew shark teeth. We're the ones that go away to hunt fish, so we're the best suited for a task like this. Anyway, I grabbed the little tooth. She frowns. Traveling so far is a rare privilege for us, but as you can see, the journey can be unpredictable. So about my search? She frowns. Helps to know what you're hunting. You got a lot of tracks to follow, but where they'll lead is anyone's guess. Alright, that's enlightening. I like Sagani. Okay, let's take a save. Looks like the catacombs are pretty big, so I think we're going to leave off there for today, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a nice day. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.